Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. We are at Tuesday, so not too bad for this week so far. Welcome back to the channel. I thought the one thing I will talk tonight about quickly is about when hitting certain plateaus, as they say, or certain what some would say are barriers or periods of stagnation. It should really be you should first before you think that you are there, you should first take a real hard look at what you have been doing versus what you've planned on doing. So if those two correlate well and you feel that you've been stagnating, try to look at what the plan was and what gains have you made. So I always think it's like, if you use an example, let's say I'm a bodybuilder and I'm taking 1 year off to put on muscle. If you, as most, this is kind of well-known knowledge that for experienced athletes, if you work very hard, you could put up maybe 6, 7 or 8 kilograms of muscle in that year, 8 being very generous. So that means if your body fat didn't move, and you put on 6 to 8 kilograms, which is a lot. Let me tell you, that's a lot of muscle. To put that on in a year, that would, think about that. That means that your body weight, if you're doing it perfectly, not losing body fat, not picking up body fat, nothing like that, your weight should be going up 500 grams every month for 6 kilograms that year, just as an example, right? So in effect, that means that you won't see a lot of change. So, but in effect, you would have had great gains. Something to, put out 6 kilograms of steak and see how much muscle that is. That is really, it's a lot of muscle. So it is really, it would be a very great accomplishment. So make sure to measure your results efficiently. Don't shortcut yourself. Sometimes it's frustrating as a coach, and I think a lot of coaches might agree with this, where you would work with athletes and sometimes they're a little bit, because of the inexperience, they get anxious about being in a hurry to get to point B, being impatient specifically. So, and that being impatient is something that would not just hinder your progress, but it could really put you back. So it's something I think that all of my athletes I sometimes remind them of. But if you've, let's say, reflected and see that I've either hit a plateau or I have been going a little bit backwards due to these mistakes I've been making, due to being impatient, unrealistic, or just the inexperience, that might happen. You make mistakes, you learn from them, but it's only if you can reflect that you're able to make the right adjustments moving forward. So let's say we've reflected, we're happy, we are at, let's say, a point where we want to make a change. What things can I change? So reflecting on a diet, one thing you can do is make sure that your amount of calories you are consuming fits your goal. Then if that was in place correct, then look at the breakdown of the calories you've been consuming and play around with that. If that is fine and you've now gone through that, then look perhaps at the type of calories that you're consuming. In other words, the types of meats, maybe the types of carbs or fats and so on, and readjust that. So that's just on the diet where you can maybe make a change. On training, you can do that too. It's something I've done recently with my athletes, changing up their schedule, and they've all been so surprised by the results. I'm not saying it's out of the box thinking, I don't really think it is, but just changing the way that they see their training. And personally, some of them have said they are enjoying their training now because they're not always sore. They actually are feeling ready when the workout is coming up, which is a great contrast to just always being in pain and having to push through. So a little bit of better quality of life, of course, which is also something that I could approve of. That's my short message for you guys. So think about that. Before doing things that are too radical, they might push you backwards. Make the adjustments in the right places, and be patient. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.